90% of startups fail. That's the stat they throw around at pitch competitions. That's the number they use to scare you into taking the safe job, the 401k, the sensible shoes. But they never tell you the real statistic. They never tell you that in the remaining 10%, the ones that make it, the ones that hit unicorn status, the ones where the founders end up on magazine covers, 50% of those successful exits end in a lawsuit between the founders. 50%. Coin flip odds. You build something from nothing. You bleed for it. You miss weddings, funerals, the birth of your own kid because the server crashed at 3 a.m. And when the money finally gets real, the person sitting across the table from you, the one who held the ladder while you climbed, decides they'd rather own the ladder. That's exactly what happened to me. My name is Elias. 7 years ago, I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor of a sublet in Oakland. No box spring. Just a foam pad and a laptop that overheated if you opened more than 12 Chrome tabs. Julian had the apartment. Julian had the network. Julian had the trust fund safety net that let him say things like, "Let's just burn the boats, Eli." No plan B. I had the code. I had the vision. I had the nightmares. We called it Apex. Stupid name. Generic. Sounded like a climbing gym or a protein powder. But the algorithm? The algorithm was beautiful. Predictive logistics for last-mile delivery. Boring as hell to explain at parties, but it saved companies millions. It routed drivers around traffic jams before they formed. It predicted package volume spikes 3 weeks out by scraping weather patterns and TikTok trends. I wrote the core architecture in 17 days. 17 days of Adderall and cold brew and the shaking hands that come from too much caffeine and not enough sleep. Julian? Julian went to South by Southwest. He built relationships. He took meetings with VCs who wore Patagonia vests and asked for hockey stick growth without knowing what a database index was. He came back with a term sheet. $2 million. Seed round. We signed the papers at a kitchen counter that doubled as a ping-pong table. Champagne from a plastic cup. 50-50, Julian said, clinking his cup against mine. Partners. Blood brothers. Till death do us part. He laughed. I should have checked the fine print. I should have checked the vesting schedule. I should have checked the keyman clause that defined him as the keyman. Year 1, we hired 5 engineers. I interviewed all 5. I mentored all 5. I rewrote their spaghetti code at midnight so the build wouldn't break. Julian hired an executive assistant. Then a chief of staff. Then a branding agency that charged $40,000 to change the logo from a blue triangle to a blue triangle with a slightly rounder corner. Year 3, Series B, $20 million. Valuation, $200 million. My stake on paper, $100 million. Julian's stake on paper, $100 million. But the cap table? The cap table is a lie. The cap table is a story rich people tell each other to decide who gets the yacht. Sarah came to the Christmas party in year 3. She wore a red dress that cost more than my first car. She smelled like expensive perfume and winter air. She stood by the ice sculpture asterisk, an actual ice sculpture with the logo frozen inside asterisk, and she looked bored. She was Julian's date. Eli, she said. Her voice was smoke and honey. Julian talks about you constantly. Says you're the genius. Says he's just the pretty face. I laughed. Nervous. Loud. Julian lies, I said. I'm just the plumber. He's the architect. Her eyes didn't leave mine. Plumbers are essential, she said. Architects just draw pictures. She touched my arm. Just the fingertips. Brief. Electric. I hadn't been touched like that in. God. 2 years? 3? I was married to the code. Married to the Slack channels. Married to the pager duty rotation. My wife *ex-wife now * left me 6 months prior. Took the dog. Took the lease on the Oakland apartment. Left me the mattress on the floor. Can't compete with a server rack, Elias, she texted me from a U-Haul. You love the machine more than me. She wasn't wrong. But Sarah? Sarah looked at me like I was a person. Not a resource. Not a line item. We talked for 3 hours. About her dad's dementia. About my mom's cancer. About how lonely it is to be the smartest person in a room full of people spending your money. She didn't work in tech. She worked in nonprofit arts funding. Grant writing. She fought for money to keep theaters open and music programs alive in public schools. She had soul. I had equity. Julian found us on the balcony at 2 a.m. He wasn't drunk. Julian never gets drunk. He gets calculated. He slid an arm around her waist. Possessive. Territorial. Sarah, love, the car's here, he said. His voice was velvet over steel. Eli, buddy. Great chat. Don't stay up too late. We have the board meeting at 8. He steered her away. She looked back once. Just once. Her mouth didn't move, but I read the word clear as day. Sorry, 6 months later, they were engaged. 9 months later, married. A destination wedding in Tuscany. Olive groves. Michelin star chefs. Instagram influencers hired specifically to document the power couple. I wasn't invited. Business only, Eli, Julian texted me the day the save the dates went out. Sarah wanted intimate. You understand. Cap table stuff is getting messy anyway. Lawyers talking. Nothing personal. Nothing personal, the two most dangerous words in the English language. The messy cap table stuff was a Series C term sheet. 50 million. Valuation, 1 billion. Unicorn status. The term sheet had a name on the signature line for Chief Executive Officer. It wasn't mine. It was Julian's. And there was a second name. Chairman of the board. Also Julian. My name? Founder, technical advisor, non-voting. Non-voting. They stripped my board seat. They accelerated my vesting *clifted*, so I got 0 of the new shares. They issued a new class of stock. Class F, founder shares. Super voting rights. 10 votes per share. Julian held all of them. Sarah signed the witness line on the resolution. She signed it Sarah Thornvance. Hyphenated. She signed away my life with a Mont Blanc pen. I found out because the CFO my hire, a guy I mentored, a guy whose kid I bought a Nintendo Switch for, slipped me the PDF under the table at a company all hands. His hands were shaking. Eli. I couldn't. They said if I didn't notarize it, they'd claw back my options. I have a mortgage. I have. I'm sorry. I didn't yell. I didn't flip the table. I opened my laptop. I opened the terminal. I typed git log 1 line all WCL. 47,000 commits. Git short log sn head in 1 my username. 38,000 commits. Julian? 0. He never pushed a single line of production code. Not one. He pushed PowerPoints. He pushed term sheets. He pushed the narrative. And the narrative won. The lawyers called it governance restructuring for scalability. The press called it visionary leadership transition. TechCrunch headline: Apex Logistics secures $50 million Series C. Founder Julian Vance assumes full operational control as company eyes IPO. Buried in paragraph 12, co-founder Elias Thorne transitions to advisory role. I had a keycard that stopped working at 6 p.m. the next Friday. I had a company laptop that remotely wiped itself while I was in the middle of a Docker build. I had an email from HR Julian's cousin, hired 6 months prior offering me a generous separation package. 3 months' salary. Non-disparagement clause. Non-compete. Release of all claims. They valued my $100 million at 3 months' salary. 100 million. Gone. Stolen. Legal. Perfectly, brutally, legally stolen. I sat in my new apartment. Nicer now. Paid for by the 3 months' salary. High floor. View of the bay. Silence. No pager duty. No Slack. Just the hum of the fridge. I drank whiskey I couldn't afford 2 years ago. The good stuff. Japanese single malt. 200 a bottle. I stared at the code on my personal GitHub. Side projects. Subscribe to Betrayal and Revenge for more unbelievable stories of betrayal and karma.